And now a bit more about life energy, including a bit of history about this most important factor, which makes all that which we call magic or action at a distance possible. Already your first operations will lead you to the conclusion that a strong field of life energy allows quick magical action. In fact, it was assumed all along that the stronger the life force that connects with the target, the stronger the action upon the target will be. Magicians of all ages knew that. This power had many names, such as prana, chi, psychic power, magical power, mana, you name it. Every culture, every civilization has its own name for it. Well, you will find out soon that success strategies and good technological insight are at least equally important, just as sheer numbers of an army hardly ever was the most decisive factor for victory. After life energy has been part of magical methods for millennia, Western scientists began very serious scientific examination of this energy some 250 years ago, and consequently several models or mappings describing this energy and its functions in the environment have been established. The models which these scientists developed were in tune with the knowledge of their times, and consequently these models reflected their cultural religious background. Since then, we actually are aware that a scientific model of this important theory has many advantages. Above all, is the advantage that we can develop new technologies from a good scientific theory or mapping. This fact is valid for magic just the same way as it is valid for chemistry and physics. The first person known in Western history, most very important person, who developed a scientific model of life energy was Franz Anton Mesmer. He called life energy animal magnetism. He developed methods to magnetize, as he called it, or mesmerize, as we call it sometimes, people in order to heal them. He also invented devices that seemed to cause a healing. These devices were wooden barrels which he had filled with iron filings and which had iron rods sticking out. People who wanted a healing held these rods in their hand. These devices were structurally very similar to the organ accumulators which Wilhelm Reich built some 1.5 centuries later. Then, slightly after Mesmer, Baron Karl von Reichenbach called this life energy Ode, a word which he derived from the Norse god Odin. He conducted thousands of tests with more than 120 sensitive people, and he developed a comprehensive theory concerning this energy. Very interesting to read. Wilhelm Reich, then about 150 years after Mesmer, used the term organ for life energy. His scientific theory was the most advanced model of life energy until the development of mathematics which described the interaction of life energy, electromagnetic energy and time as we perceive them. I developed this model. And Wilhelm Reich invented the organ accumulator, which is advanced accumulator as compared to the accumulator of Mesmer. And he used this device to charge people with life energy and again for healing, since he was an MD like Mesmer. He expanded on describing the characteristics of life energy. And he, like his scientifically oriented predecessors, was unaware of one of that main characteristics of life energy, namely that it transfers at any distance without loss of energy by way of structural links. And this, in fact, is the characteristic of life energy which makes magic, or, as I said, action at a distance, possible. Magicians from our cultural tradition, on the other hand, knew all along that life energy is necessary to make their actions work. They knew intuitively about it. Magicians usually can feel this energy, as do about 95% of human beings, whether they believe in it or not doesn't matter. That's the first try. On the basis of millennia of experience, these magicians are using many practices to develop strong fields of this energy. These practices include many different methods such as chanting, strong emotional outbursts, group rituals, sex magical practices, religious emotionalism, and animal sacrifice. An excellent way to have a continuous and abundant supply of life energy, of course, is to use chi generators which I invented. In fact, I jokingly called the first chi generator the automatic chicken. You can more information about this device in www.orgon.net or www.orgontech.com, again in video format. And now we are ready for a definition of magic. We say that magic is action upon a predefined target with the help of structural links and life force. Furthermore, we could establish that the distance between the practicing magician and the target is totally irrelevant. What is important is the strength of the life force, the accuracy of the structural links in combination with the appropriate success strategy. Conclusion. The first thing that we need to do in order to understand magic and its scientific principles is to come to grips with its basic elements. This means that we need to learn to understand the characteristics of life force and the nature of structural link. Makes the learning of magic then a lot easier. Then we need to learn the methods to raise life force and the methods to establish structural links. With such an understanding, we can perform any kind of magic. And with such an understanding, we can view magic as a technological system rather than some mysterious art which is cloaked in some kind of distorted religious or pop ESO belief structures. After we have developed a basic understanding of life energy and of structural links, we will then proceed to increase the range of our sensory apparatus. This will allow us to tune into the effects of our magical action with more ease. It's always better to, let's call it, see the target rather than do something blindly in the hopes that the technology we employed will do the trick. Being able to tune into our magical action gives us the capability to view the impact of our action while we are practicing.